Now, this is part 2. Last time I had a conversation with her a couple times. She wanted to talk. And the only thing she would say to me is, you're teaming up with my husband to get me, or something like that. I mean, she thinks I'm teaming up with her husband because she got a divorce from her husband. So that's the only thing I can think. So she thinks I'm on her husband's side, it seems to be, and that somehow I'm secretly doing something. That's the only thing I could come up with. But like I said, I keep asking her, what is it? What is it? And that's the only thing she would keep telling me. But we didn't get to that in this conversation yet. But I mean, I assumed it would have been the same thing. But so basically, as I was walking away, I said, let me know when you're ready to talk. To talk. Not raise a ruckus and try to control me. But I didn't tell her that. But she might figure it out. Hopefully. Like I said, I ain't got nothing against her. She's just the neighbor. We've been friends for a long time. Then all of a sudden, she wanted to. They moved to Salem for a while, and then she came back. And everything was wonderful and great until I was back here in the backyard, and I told her, I said, I do radio programs in the backyard now. She says, cool. But I guess she didn't. So that's the only thing I could think of. She doesn't like my radio program, or she thinks I'm bugging her or making fun of her or something. That's the only thing I could think of. But when I've brought it up, she says, I don't care about your radio program. I think she probably does, but she doesn't want to talk about it. Could be, but that's why I say whenever she's ready to talk, then we could probably get somewhere with this. But like I say, she could be robot controlled. More than likely. So, even though she might not know it. But, because I know how the system is. I know exactly what's going on. But we just leave it at that. So, So, that's that. I just want to make a record of this so that if we have this conversation down the road somewhere, I could at least recap and figure out where we left off. But basically, it's the same old thing. She thinks I'm after, like I said, this time she said, why am I bugging her? So I asked her, how am I bugging you? Then she said something about Allah. I said, what's Allah? So now that I say that, Allah could be because I come in the backyard in the radio program and talk about the law, the international law, the universal law. So, like I said, she might be offended by the universal law or the international law or whatever law it is that I talk about back here. It could be. And she thinks that I'm bugging her, but, I'm not bugging her. I'm not bugging no one. I'm just out in the backyard expressing myself. Now, if that happens to bug someone, then that's on them. If it bugs them, then we can talk about these things and we can get to the bottom of it. Why do these bug you? Why does this bug you? Why does this bug you to talk about the international law in a radio program in the backyard? Do you understand what the international law is? Called freedom of speech, freedom of expression, which goes totally against this screwed up system of society that we've been living, folks. With the fake media. Now, I say fake media because that's the only thing that the public can recognize and relate to, that they know without a shadow of a doubt. There are people all the way at the top in the government that are with this fake media stuff that's going around. And it's being blamed on the Democrats. So maybe she's a Democrat. So if I'm back here and I'm talking about the Democrats, maybe she feels like I'm bugging her because she might be a Democrat. Could be. But it's not real. I'm not bugging no Democrats. I'm just exposing everything. And then then I say everything's just a story anyway. How are we gonna really know? I guess we shall see. Because everything will play out. And then we might know something a little more than we know. But anyway. See, this is this COVID stuff, all this COVID Democrat stuff, all the mind control and shit like that. As soon as I got to the fence, I could tell right away someone took control of her brain, who was using her as robot control, try to tell me what to do. And that ain't gonna get you nowhere. You know, I'll play into your hand for a little bit, you know, just to give you some benefit of the doubt, to see what you got to talk about. You want to talk? Sure. You know, you want a little distance? Cool. You know, that's cool. But remember, you called me over here. You called me over to talk, you know. See what I'm saying? So, you know. So if you call someone, what I'm saying is if you call someone over to talk, then get ready to compromise because you initiated something on your terms. Okay, you want to talk? Well, let's talk this way then. well, you know, then you get somewhere in agreement and the arrangements of how to talk and the conditions of the talk. But if there's no agreement, you know, and there's still abuse in the conversation, well, then let me know when you're ready to talk. Because I've already been down this road with her. Twice already. And it gets nowhere. Because she doesn't really want to tell me exactly what's going on. It's all just she says something and I guess she's hoping that I confess to something. It's the only thing I could say. That's why I said, you know, what's there to confess? So the only thing I could think of is I'm back here in the backyard with the radio program, speaking, you know, expressing myself like a kid in the backyard. Any kid playing in the backyard. That's the only thing I can think that bugs her. But she won't mention it. She won't say anything. And when I'm gonna say it again, I keep repeating the same old stuff again. And when I asked her the second time, or actually probably the first conversation, she says, "No, I don't care about your radio program. I don't care." Maybe she don't. That would be cool if that was, because that would at least bring a little more relief to me. But you know, I'm relieved anyway. I'm gonna be back here anyway. You know, expressing what I need to express. But so we'll just let things settle again, and I assume that she's going to want to talk again because this has started to become a pattern. She's always wanted to talk and it gets nowhere, but maybe it'll get somewhere eventually. You know, maybe I'm just too eccentric for her, but I've always been eccentric with her. It's just, you know, she's the neighbor, so she gets to know who I am and whatnot. But I don't think she really knows who I am, because I'm much more eccentric than what I've been with her. Although I've been more eccentric with her than anyone else around here, because it was kind of a closer relationship at one time. You know, you feel more comfortable when you get used to people. You spend a little time with them, talking with them, do yard work for her, dig holes in the ground, trees for her and shit like that. I mean, fuck. So, you know, you build some type of camaraderie and whatnot, but, you know, but this all gets down to the robot control. I know without a shadow of a fucking doubt. Maybe she doesn't like me cussing. It could be that. But, you know, that's just part of where I'm at. I need to cuss a whole lot. Right now, at this time in my life, because I've been fucking suppressed in that area to express myself under this fake ass fucking Christian fucking moral agenda where you're not supposed to cuss. And I learned that's a bunch of bullshit. Bunch of bullshit. Serious bullshit. Although there's a time when we don't cuss. But there's a time to cuss too. Even within the Bible, the same Bible that that a lot of the religious folk read. There's a time for this and a time for that. And I just take it to the extreme and I say there's a time for this and a time for that for everything, including cussing, sex, murder, anything you want to call a crime, there's a time for it. And there's also a time for it that it's not a crime. You can just imagine how that might be a hard pill to swallow. But these are the universal laws. And she brought up this all law thing. And so maybe, once again, we're into here's the sun popping out on universal law when I mention it, which could be a robot control situation. But like I said, I'm pretty well hammered it right on the head. Most of the people that I deal with on a daily basis, I know without a shadow of a fucking doubt, most of them are seriously robot controlled. Seriously. So it's someone else, which would get us back to the Democrats again, which includes the Rhino Republicans. It's the same old fucking deep state fucks that have been fucking everyone. Gets right back to the same old fucking shit. But then when we get past that and we rise higher to other levels, it could be a mirror reflection, karma, whatever you want. Then you want to go higher. It's just the way the universe grows. So there's really no one to blame. But we go through these things. And don't believe me because it's all just a story, folks. But it's the best story I share. And it gives me passion and energy to speak these things. It's like truths to me. I'm a purebred Capricorn, man. If you know anything about purebred Capricorns in astrology, they deal strictly in reality truth. They ain't got time to mess around with all the fucking bullshit. They don't even want to make time for it because they see that it's all a bunch of bullshit. They see right the fuck through it. Although there's a time when I can song and dance with you and, play your game or play the game. But if I sense that here comes the abuse, I'm gonna fucking cut it right the fuck off. Because that's the name of the bully's game is control. Tell you what to do, how far you can approach, what you can and cannot do during the conversation. Fuck that. I ain't falling for that shit. And when I say stuff like this, maybe the neighbor thinks that I'm talking to her, but I'm not. I'm just expressing myself on a video and for all the universe to hear. And I'm not really even speaking to have the universe hear me. I'm just speaking because I want to speak it. And I got this camera before me, so I'm speaking into a mirror. Like the mirror reflection. When the moon comes around every 30 days, Michael Jackson's Thriller, the werewolf comes out, and we get to see ourselves for who we really are. Have you ever made videos before? This might be the first time you watched a video. Okay, now I'm kind of speaking to you more so. I ain't broadcasting this in a different way like I do with most of the radio programs. I broadcast into the air for all creatures to hear. This one's mainly just for the record. It's just for the record. And it's between me and the record. And if some YouTuber watches this, because I post all these videos publicly, but I don't have one subscriber, I get one, maybe two people watch all the videos I make. If they even watch them all the time. Most of my videos got 0 views, 1 or 2 views, and mostly because I watch them. So I'm fucking right on with this stuff. I make public records. They're memories for me. So I can go back and listen to them again if I need a little reminder. So, like I say, I'm making a distinction right here. I'm speaking to the camera right now. I ain't speaking to no one around me. Although I realize there might be some people that are listening. That's just part of life. People are gonna overhear conversations everywhere. And I've learned to get used to this. In the training ground that I like best, which is the backyard right here. With a public storefront window right there. Bike path right there, public. And plus the neighbors. So I'm going to say it again. I know what's going on. Without a shadow of a doubt. Though I could be wrong and it's all just a story. But I'm, it's all robot control shit going on. Someone's fucking robot controlling the neighbor to say all this shit that she's saying. Or that the neighbor's saying. And not wanting to go nowhere with the conversation except control and not answer the questions. I'm being bugged. What's bugging you? Then this time she said, Allah. Well, what's Allah? Shut up, she told me. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, no, we're going to end this right now. Fuck your 6-foot shit and fuck your fucking shut up shit. I didn't tell her that, but, you get the point. We all feel these feelings. I walked off nicely and kind of sang a little song just to maintain the happiness in me. That's childish stuff. But sometimes children need to go through that. That's okay. It doesn't bother me, but it's still childish. You got to I call it what it is. But I still like her. I don't hate her. I got nothing against her. I hope things get fucking better. That's the difference between me and some dumbass fuck who doesn't give a shit. That's created this fucked up society that we live in. See what I'm saying? It's not all fucked up, but you get the point. A whole lot of fucked up shit going on. It just needs to be adjusted. That's all. And we're adjusting it right now. And that might be a hard thing for the robot and the robot controllers because they're having to go through adjustments. Because this is being publicly exposed. This whole society is being exposed for all the adjustments that need to be made to the funny stuff that's been going on. And that might be hard for some people because all people also have a soul in them. And it's hard for the soul to want to grow when it doesn't have the power to grow, and all it knows is being under the control of a program, a mind control program through these power whip antennas, all this electronic stuff that they got out here. Not to mention the hypnotic, billboards and TV shows and ads and all that that are, that doesn't have anything to do with electronic stimulus directly, but are indirect because you watch the stuff and you become what you watch. Huh, bud? Yeah. But anyway, the main thing for me is that I come back here and I like to talk about this stuff. Now I'm graduating from directly speaking to the camera right now to more of an open for everyone to hear. And I'm fluctuating back and forth because it's a bit backsetty for me to have to go through this because I've never been through this before with someone. It's like being falsely accused. Have you ever been falsely accused? It doesn't feel very good. And you start to feel yourself. All these thoughts come in like, I'm guilty of something. Then I must be guilty of something. Fuck that, and it makes all the fucking adrenaline start to go weird in the body. But I catch it because I know what the fuck's going on, and then I fucking bring it down to a harness. And then I always come back here in the backyard and I talk it through. And that's how I get healing from what's called, this false accusation type atmosphere, which is another bully manipulative trick. Snake oil salesman techniques. Always wanting to make someone feel fucking guilty. That's predominant in the Catholic religion. Predominant. Why you think they always have this confession stuff? It's part of the mind control. You must be guilty of something, son, daughter. Please tell me what it is. Now, I say that because she's Catholic. She is Catholic. Maybe she's mad because I'm exposing the Catholics. Could be. Maybe she's bugged because I expose all religions. It ain't just Catholic. But Catholic happened to be one of the dominant religions in this country. That and Christianity are side by side. So it gets talked about with more of a vengeance, so to speak. Though I'm not venging on anything, but you get the point. With more power. You know what I'm saying, okay? It gets a little bit more light shined on it because it's the predominant religion that has been fucking everyone with their crusade fuck shit. But like I said, there's no one to blame, but we do get to vent. We do get to go through a period and vent the stuff and get it out of us. The whole fucking society, once they see what's going on with all this fake media stuff, fake religion stuff, fake morality, all this fake shit, they're gonna, just like I went through this, I can foresee a whole bunch of people in society are gonna go through this when they realize what the fuck was pulled over their fucking brains and bodies, their thoughts and their bodies, when they realize this shit. So, with the experience that I got, I know it's going to be something normal that needs to happen. And it might be a prolonged experience till it all gets out. And especially when we start to see the changes and go through the changes, as it is right now, it comes out more with me because we're just at the beginning of the changes. So it's like an expectancy that's wanting to come out. So there's more passion during the birth process. The birthing pains. That's just natural birthing pains right there. Then once the baby's born, and that's just a principle for the same thing. It's like, once the baby's born, once we start to see the changes or the new society born, we actually see something and all the people can say to themselves, finally. Everyone can sit around and say, finally, I see some change. Finally. That's the exact same thing as a baby being born. Now you have to go through the growing process. Now that you see the change, now the change is going to grow. And as we vent and vent and vent, it becomes less and less and less with the joy of the new child growing up. It's natural. All the pains, it's painful to raise a little baby and a little child. You got to get up when you're tired. You got to give up your free time. All kinds of stuff. It ain't that great of a thing. So it's just a universal principle that applies to all subjects. So as society, as the new birth of society, the new baby society comes into existence, now we got to change all the pants, help the child to grow, get up at midnight because it's hungry or whatever. So this ain't going to be a quick fix, folks. Although it can be, because there's universal technology that is so far advanced beyond what we have right now. And I'm talking about even with our ideas and our capacity to deal with stuff. These are things that I know. You might not know. I know. And that's all that matters to me, is that I know, really. Because that gives me the joy and the comfort to speak about these things that I speak about. I ain't speaking from, ashamedness. I ain't speaking from a guess. Although I could be wrong, but I've seen some things, experienced some things. It's a little bit more than I could be wrong with me. It's a little more like more on the sure road when it comes to me with these things. But it might not be for you. So you won't be able to speak with the same passion that I got unless you are experiencing similar circumstances with the societal changes and the societal revelations of all the, the FBI, the CIA, 911, government inside job, all the killing and stealing of the wealth of the people, the taxation, you name it, the religious crusades, all in the name of God, Allah, whatever. Gang members have their religious figure too, philosophies, universities, hospitals, police stations, all the departments, Department of Transportation, Commerce, Department of this. These are the ones that are just fresh on my mind. Everything that the society is made up, folks, made up of. All kinds of... And it's especially hard for certain people because they might be in on the game playing and all the stealing and the killing. That's called treason on the executive order legal side. That's a very serious matter, folks. Very serious matter. And there's a whole lot of people that are going to have to face this treason. And they just might be very scared. And very desperate. But, it is what it is. Is what it is. But like I say, the main point, like I was saying again, was to get this on the record. But point number 2, I get real remedy and therapy when I go out in the backyard and I record the stuff or whatever, just talk it out in the backyard. So much fucking therapy. Healing and cures from it. Otherwise, I'll just be fucking rolling everything through my mind all fucking day. It'll just be going like a fucking rat wheel, and you all know what that is. It's the worry welt fucking existence. Just fucking worry. I nip it right in the bud. I don't sit around and think about worry shit all day. I've learned to talk it all the way out and expose everything in full honesty, the best honesty that I got. Although I could be lying to myself. I always say, I'm not stupid. And I know that I'm robot controlled too, to certain extents too. More so less than other people because of the international paperwork that I put in, the study that I've put in, what's going on, and growing the soul to get myself out of it a little bit more than most. But yeah, I'm still under control too. See what I'm saying? I ain't lying to myself. So it helps me to talk this shit out. It's just like holding court, man. Ain't no difference. Bring all the evidence in. Bring it all, and I come right on back here and I put it all out. And once it's all out, then I feel relieved from the burden, from the tax, from the accusations. Relieved. Most people don't know how to self-therapy themselves. If they only knew, God, what a world it could be. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. That's the hope that I have. So yeah, point 2, just to get it on the record for a memory, or point 1, just to get this on the record for a memory, and point 2, self-therapy, talk it through, expose everything I can about it. All thoughts, welcome, immigrant thoughts, come on in. See, I got much experience in this, folks. I've been doing this a long time. I don't let shit simmer and stew. That's why I'm not a fucking drunkie or a drug addict. I'm not putting drunkie or drug addict down. Or a food addict or whatever addict. Because I talk things through. Does that make a point solid right there about this whole situation? I talk stuff through. And then once I've talked it all the way through and got everything out that needs to be discussed, and then the peace that surpasses understanding, even the religion, at least they mention this, there's peace that surpasses understanding. Yes, there is. There really is, folks. But you don't know that I have the peace after I talk it through. You don't know. One day you shall know, because we'll all have the ESP and see the vibration frequencies and the auras. This is the universal technology. It needs to come out to the people. It's just the same old game. What are we hiding shit for? See what I'm saying? I ain't no Johnny come lately. I'm a Johnny been there. Been around the block. More than once. More than twice. More than 20 times. And it can go on and on and on. Been here fucking since 2005. Started learning this information around 2008. So what's 8 plus 20? That's 12 years growing in this information. Although I tend to go overboard sometimes when I'm back here talking. Sure I go overboard. Sure would be nice to have more balance though, wouldn't it? But that's just part of it. Sometimes we're allowed to go overboard. I'll be saying the same old shit over and over and over. I can once I get on subject, I can explain it all over again, and it's always the same explanation. And I'm always titillated when new revelation comes in too. Huh, bud? Yay! Look out! Little buddy's getting him some weed. Maybe she got mad, or maybe she felt like she's being bugged because this morning when I went to work, I was pissed this morning. I wasn't pissed, but I just wanted to vent myself as though I was pissed. I was irritated. Fucking have to get up a fucking different hour to go in and fucking work the fucking job. Fuck that shit. I ain't all about that. Keep me on the fucking swing shift fucking shit. So I went out to the front yard this morning and I said, fuck you. And I was saying fuck you to the motherfucking mind control fucks. Because they're the ones that caused this shit to happen. I wasn't saying fuck you to the neighbors or anything, although they sent a thought into my mind to make me think that I was guilty of speaking to a neighbor. I caught that shit and cut it right off at the bud. So if you listen to this, you might learn something. That's one of their favorite tricks. When you're just wanting to vent yourself and just say, fuck you, or whatever, into the air, they immediately send a thought into the brain, and it's built into the automatic computer program, in the algorithms, that when you say something like that and you're just wanting to say it just to say it, they immediately send a thought and says, you're saying it to them. I catch this shit all the time. I'm fully trained in this one. Well, I was titillated when I caught that one. Jesus Christ, because that's one of their favorite guilt trips. They fucking send their immigrant thoughts into your mind. And everybody takes the bait. Everybody takes the bait, man. And they sit there and they feel guilty like they just cussed someone out that's around. That was a good revelation right there, and we caught that on video. So yeah, I went out to the front yard this morning, and I just spoke into the air, especially, and I did aim it to someone. I aimed it to these fucks that are 2 countries away, fucking Democrat, Rhino, Republican, whoever the fuck, extraterrestrial military fucks, running the fuck show in society. I told them fuckers, I said it fucking loud. I said, fuck you! At like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I felt justified too. Because I don't do that. I've never done that here. Never. So I'm allowed. Now, if I was to do this all the time, then we might get some concern in the air then. You see what I'm saying? And so now being concerned all the time, maybe that's what the neighbor's getting at when she says, I think you're bugging. She says, I'm bugging her. Maybe she's concerned because I'm back here in the backyard all the time doing the radio program. Okay, but, it's, could be. But maybe we can get to the point where we can talk about this. But so far, all I've got from her is, I don't care about your radio program. So, okay, so you don't. Cool. Well, that makes me feel good. Because I ask the neighbor over here all the time, Well, I used to ask the neighbors all the time, when I first started doing this radio program, am I bugging you? And I always got, no, you're all right, you're all right, you're all right. But I have got a little more, passionate with the training, though. And I finally got to the point where I don't want to ask anybody anymore. I don't want to feel like I have to go around asking everybody, am I all right? I want to feel free just to be me. And go through what I need to go through to get where I need to get without having someone's permission. That's just where I'm at. Maybe I'm a dickhead for being that way. Could be. But it sure is very relieving for me. And not to mention, most of the stuff that I talk about back here, it needs to be talked about on the media, and it's not being talked about on the media. So I'm going to be the media for the media that is not. I made that decision. Because it ain't no different from the tribes that used to live on the land back in the old days. When someone wanted to say something about what's going on in the tribe, they just spoke up. And sometimes they just kept speaking up until there was a solution and a remedy. See what I'm saying? But, like I say, even when I go overboard and over passionate, it does make me feel tired and wore out and this and that. But, hey, I'm allowed. But I have got to the point where I've been able to be real passionate and not wear myself out. And it just feels fucking real therapeutically healing. And that healing feeling keeps increasing. So, that keeps me going. But you got to realize too, there's some astrological energy in the air right now. So the saying goes, who knows, could be what if, maybe it's all mind control, da 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 da. Venus is going through Taurus right between the bullseye in astrology, okay? And I am a Venus. When I was born, Venus was at home in Taurus. And if you study astrology, whenever you're born, and if the planet is in its home constellation when you're born, okay, you absorb more of the energy from that star system when that planet cycles around and comes back and gets back into that home. And that energy is released from outer space and comes and permeates everywhere. When you study astrology, okay?